Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. This has just arrived. By the time you see the cards, it'll be a little bit later because, you know, what I like to do, well, let's just talk about that actually. So what I'm going to do is make up the inspiration kit, make up the inspiration cards, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm going to make up the inspiration cards and then whatever's left over, then you can hopefully take inspiration from that, and that way you still have the inspirational bits and pieces that you can play with. Let's get all that out. Yeah, I see, you know, additional inspiration. Additional inspiration, so to speak. Alright, let's have a quick look at this. So this month clearly we've got some square cards and envelopes. So these are 13.5 by 13.5 centimeters square. So envelopes and cards, as I mentioned. You've got, this is our inspirational sheet. Let's open this up. So some pretty little cards there. Another little, there was a similar one in the last kit with the balloon, and you know, it was different, but you know. So this is pretty, this is nice, this is nice. I do like my browns. Okay, so we've got some satin ribbon, we've got some crystal bling, it's called. It's a little bit iridescent, it might be hard to see, a little bit iridescent. We'll do that in a minute. So we have another cut apart. As I've mentioned before, you've got a little notch here and you can just run this through. They have the die cut. They have the die, I should say, it's not a die cut. They're right there. So you match up that notch with that little one, that one with that, run it through and you'll get a whole heap of strips out. So we will also do that before anything else. Okay, so this is called Boho Picnic. So these are all single-sided pattern paper, but you get a lot. So you get some really, really pretty ones in there. So let's just turn that over because that will drive me. That is really pretty. So, and most of the time, if you haven't seen any of my videos with doing pattern paper and what I do with it, I'll use that as a background and then just layer bits and pieces on top of it, and you know, a lot of the hard work got out of it. Some nice little zigzag. Oh, that's a bit pretty. It's very pretty. A little cut apart, which we'll put that aside because I will trim him out. Nice. How pretty is that? And you can imagine with a scrapbook page with the 12 by 12s, which they do come in, that these will be so nice. A little fairy. Oh, I thought there was another sheet there. Another cut apart, an easy cut apart. Put him aside. I know there's pink, some little dots. That's just lovely. And we're back to the start. So you will get 2 lots of each paper. I'm just going through and grabbing all the little cut aparts because I will cut those off. I will sit here and I will watch my YouTube and I will cut all these prettiness apart, and then we'll come back and I'll have the 6 cards all done and we can play with the leftovers. That's the way I like it anyway. But, you know, you do you. So, looks like lots of little butterflies here. Lots of fairies. Congratulations, celebrate, birthday, another fairy. some wood little embellishments, butterflies. There's another picnic. That's pretty. Very large little window. Cake. Dragonflies. There's that little balloon. It's different, but you know, there was a balloon in the last one. But it's a different type of balloon. It didn't have anywhere. Definitely did not have any of these pull-out bits, and I had extra bits like a cushion, another window, lots of tags, lots of cakes. So the colours are really, really pretty. I like the colours there. If you haven't figured that one out. I do like these sort of tones. Okay. Little dream catcher, more butterflies, flowers, and lots of little bits and pieces. So yeah, so I will go through, I will pull everything apart, cut my little heart out with all these little papers and all these elements, because usually there's some of these in the inspirational photos, and on top of that it's just, yeah, I can see that one's used straight off, but it also gives you a couple of extra bits and pieces that you can play with and pull from. So usually I make my 10 cards. As I said, 6 of them are the inspirations, another 4 of my own, and there's still so much you can still play with. So yeah, so we will be back. Well, next time I see you, we'll be back for some card making fun. So this is about a week or so later after I did that first little bit of video. I have 4 cards, as I mentioned. The first card, we're going to trim out her hands a little bit. So we're going to make it that she's sticking, sort of leaning out from a window and having a look at everything down below her. So I'm going to use this wood paneling paper just to provide my backing for my house. Let's just say a house. Generally speaking, do not do it this way, but it was so tiny, it didn't really matter. So don't go around your images and make the edges that more a little bit finished off by having the texture at the front, because if you slip, you will regret it. And I did it super carefully and extra slow, trying to avoid that, because the last thing I wanted to do is do what I tell you not to do and have it completely be justified in the fact that I tell you not to do it. Adding some foam tape all around this is double, just to give it a little bit more oomph. This panel was just a little bit left over that I'm going to use to provide her background. It's going to do the job. It's a little bit too small, but it's going to do the job just fine. I don't want anything too out there or too bold, because you can see you've got the whitewashed paneling and also the window itself is clear. I'm just adding an extra layer of foam behind her head just to make her lean that little bit more. I forgot to show you all the cards that I already did. And as I mentioned to you, I didn't video it because it's all out of the inspiration pack, and I'm sure Uniquely Creative has videos showing you all those designs, and they're pretty straightforward of where they're going. I wanted to show you what you can do with leftovers. So like a crazy person, there's 2 sheets, and I think I do show you at some point. There's 2 sheets of all these leaves, and I went to town and cut all of them up. Well, not all of them. I cut one sheet up. I wasn't too crazy that I cut both of them up, but I was pretty crazy that I cut one whole sheet of leaves out. I was having a little bit of problem with this sticking, so we're just going to use the double reverse tweezers just to hold that down a little bit. And I'm just trying to figure out my leaves and how I'm going to do this cascade of leaves falling down the front of her window. I thought that one would be really, really pretty. So there's lots of fairies elements still in the sentiment pack, the collectibles. And we're just twisting these around just to make them stick where I want them to. So in that particular place there, I've got the back, the top, let's say the base of the leaf stuck to the very back, and the front I've just sort of twisted it around and have it coming around and sitting over the top. So it's sort of a multi-dimensional thing in the sense of some are going to be placed on the top, some of them are going to be placed on the back panel, and then others we're just going to try and twist them up so the back part of it is on the back and part of it's on the front. I'm just going to play around with this until I had a ball making this, until I'm happy with sort of what I want to be placed. I was having a little bit of an issue with that leaf in the top right hand corner, but it's going to be all right on the night. So some of this I have placed a little bit of foam just to give it a little bit extra support. And you just need to be a little bit patient and hold it down just until it's got everything all set. I'm using a little bit of multi-matte medium and also some just tacky craft glue. I am a glue person. I like my wiggle time, and honestly here in Australia I find that I made some cards using Lawn Fawn's little platform pop-up, and I used it tape because a friend of mine had some tape, so I used that, and honestly I've had to re-stick it. There's something with the moisture or tape, I don't know, I find it comes off everything. So I've tried different tapes, I'm never happy with it, so glue is my sticker of choice, shall we say. And lots of people have plenty of fun, plenty of luck with tape. I've got two girlfriends that love their tape and won't use pretty much anything else. That's all good. I just don't have any luck. I like it to be stuck. I don't want to be fluffing about and figuring out. Just finishing off with some iridescent. You can see I've used a fair bit of those on the 6 other cards that we've made. I just need to readjust this little iridescent thing. So that's card number 1. 2. On one of the other cards, you actually cut out this branch, but I like the whole panel, so we're going to use that with our second card. Another little window. This one does not have the center of the windows cut out. Of course, you could do that. No one's going to come and tell you you can't. And if they do, good luck to them. Just going to place that in the left hand corner. And now we're going to fill up a little bit of flowers. Again, trim that. I totally lose that piece of flower. I need it for something else and I cannot find it for the life of me. But you've seen in previous videos, I am not worried about trimming off my die cuts to either make them fit like that one or to save some of it. So we've got the sentiment for your special day. So this is sort of going to, I had a wedding card vibe with this one. You'll see why in a little bit. So just making sure it's going to fit in there nice. A little bit multi-matte medium and we're going to pop that down. So we've got these little goblets that, yes, I trimmed them all out. I was trying to figure how to, how to place them, but we're just going to go for the standard. And I'm not worrying about sticking them up on with foam. We're just going to glue them down with a little bit of glue. And every time I try and put this down at an angle, I just do not like it. Finish it off with a few more iridescent rhinestones. Just a couple scattered around. I had a hard time with them sticking to my hands. Card number 3. I love this. And I've done it before, that I love it as a background and then add my elements up on top of it so you can still see a little bit of it. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to add more than I've done previously. We're going to add less, sorry. We're going to see more of it. So that's raised up a little bit of foam tape. This is just tape that I get from Bunnings here in Australia. I like it because it's not very high and it comes in a whopping great big roll. Like my friends in America that have their scotch, it's pretty much the similar. Same. So we've got this happy birthday card. See how it just adds more depth to it, just have the background in it. There's a couple little clouds and we're going to play with those a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a, the word has escaped me, banner, flag the ends of this strip. You get the point, it's there. I'll figure out the word as soon as I stop videoing this. We are going to hide this happy birthday. I have a couple of friends that they don't celebrate birthdays, so this is just, I wish you the very best. It could be just straight. We've got a camera hiding the rest of our words, and we're going to finish off with a little bit of die cut surgery, and we're going to layer this up a little bit just to finish off our end there. And the little camera, I've just sort of trimmed him off so he sat a little bit lower because there was a tiny little bit of the happy birthday sentiment that was showing. We didn't want to see that. Finish off a little bit of stickles. And that is our third card. Card number 4, lucky last. This is a little bit of a longer video, obviously. Usually these ones are by the time I show you the kit and then get into making. I haven't quite figured out how to show you everything and still cut it down. Just trying to figure out which way my paper is going to be aligned here. We're going to layer that up with our big balloon, I should say. And I've just mounted that up on a little bit of leftover cardstock that I had lying around because I've got lots of extra bits. This, to me, looks like a little vase. I'm going to take it, not as a vase or a jar or something like that. So we're going to add some flowers. So I've slit a little hole in the very top of him. Do a little bit of surgery just to make him sit a bit flatter and put our little carnation in. Trim all those off. Now I'm going to add a little bit of foam just to hold that down once I stop getting it to move around. So that's going to keep our flowers in place and also give that little bit of lip that we want. Glue that down. This one just has a couple of extra little flowers. This is all the sentiment strips that I've got, so we're just going to go with a congratulations because it could be, I don't know, it could be anything. Congratulations on I wouldn't say a little boy baby, but a little girl. I'm trying to find my half of my flower here. I can't find it for the life of me. So we are going to trim that off. I just found that if it was sticking out further, it was just going to be a little bit more too bold. The yellow orange, it was just a little bit too bold, so we'll tuck him in a little bit, just making our sentiment a little bit shorter. We're going to stick that down with a little bit of multi-matte medium. You see our flowers in a little jar. Finish it off with our flowers in our top corner, adding a little bit of foam just on the right hand side, just the parts that are going to overlap, and the rest of it's going to be flat. So that's pretty much my cards. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would be very honored if you subscribe to my channel, and you can find me on Instagram. If you make anything using the kit, feel free to tag me. I'd love to see what you make, because everyone sort of comes up with lots of different ideas. And I'm trying to, at the moment I've got a lot on, so I'm trying to do just once a week with videos until things settle down. So here are my 4 cards that we've made. So altogether I've got 10 cards. I haven't shown you too much, and a lot of die cuts and bits and pieces left over. So I hope you're well. Take care. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.